Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. Welcome to day 8 of my 12 days of Crafty Christmas. Today we're going to be creating a fun fold Christmas card. I'm going to be using the Reindeer Days Designer Series paper, and the sentiment that I'm going to use is from the Decorative Trees stamp set. So we're going to start with our cardstock. So I'm going to bring in my trimmer, and my card base is going to be shaded spruce. So I'm going to want my card base in shaded spruce. I'm also going to want a piece of real red cardstock and a piece of basic white. And then I have got 3 different patterns from the Reindeer Days paper. Just grab my basic white, there we go. So I'm going to be using this plaid pattern, the presents, and then I'm going to fussy cut from this pattern, which is actually the reverse of the plaid. So we're going to start with our base, which is our shaded spruce. So I'm going to cut at 10.5 centimeters, like so, and then I'm going to score at 14.85. When my cutting blade out of the way, and then I'm going to score again at 22.25, which is about there. So our card is going to fold like that. So we've got a Z fold. So that's our piece of shaded spruce. Then for our real red, I am going to want 2 pieces of 7 centimeters by 10 centimeters. So let's cut that way. Let's cut 10 centimeters. And then I want 2 pieces that are 7 centimeters. Is that right? No, 2 pieces that are 7.5 centimeters. 7.5 by 10. And then I want 2 pieces of, yeah, that's right. Then I want 2 pieces of basic white that are 7 centimeters by 9.5 centimeters. 9.5, and then again at 9.5, and then, so that's our cardstock pieces cut. Now I need to cut my patterned paper. So my plaid piece I'm going to cut at 14.35 centimeters. So if you are using a directional patterned paper like this one, you want your pattern paper to be landscape, so your long measurement is the horizontal measurement, so 14.35 by 10 centimeters. Oh, there's a stamp set cascading off my desk, so we need that piece. And then for this piece, I want a piece that measures 6.9 centimeters by 10 centimeters, and this time the long measurement is the vertical measurement. So 6.9 centimeters by 10. Like that. So what we're going to have is this piece on the front, this piece on the inside, and then we're going to layer up our red and white, and we're going to have a piece on the inside, a piece on the front and a piece on the inside, so they'll be lined up together, and then we're going to do a bit of fussy cutting and stamp our sentiments. So let's grab, is that scrap long enough? Oh, it is. That's exciting. That doesn't happen very often. So I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat, because I'm using a photopolymer stamp set, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment in Memento. So I'm using the May Your Days Be Merry, and like I say, this is from the Decorative Trees stamp set, and I'm aiming kind of centrally left and right, and then kind of near the bottom, because I am going to trim it down. There we go, that looks good to me. And then I'm just going to bring my trimmer back in just to trim that down. Now this is a kind of however you reckon measurement, so there isn't kind of a firm measurement, just go with kind of what you think is about right. So now I'm going to do a little bit of fussy cutting. So the image that I'm going to use from this paper is the reindeer decorating the tree, and unfortunately I am going to chop off the little bird at the top, just so that it fits on my paper. So we can save that bit for later, for another project. So let's very carefully trim off our little bird. Oh, it feels mean chopping him off. So I'm going to come in closer around, but this is kind of where we're going with this. So I'm just going to quickly kind of cut around the tree. So I'm not going too close, because by leaving a bit of a gap, it's more forgiving if I make a bit of a mistake. And then down the other side of our tree. So not being too precise. Like so. And we have our lovely little reindeer to cut around. Make sure I don't chop off any of his antlers. I don't think he'd be very happy at that. There we go, round his body's nice and easy. Not too fiddly. And actually by leaving a border and it being that bit more forgiving, it makes it even easier to cut around shapes, because you're not worrying so much about kind of all of the little tiny ink. Oh, whoops! All of the little tiny kind of ins and outs. So there will still be some green. There we go. And I am just going to come up a little bit more in here in a second. There we go. Wiggly enough. And then I'm just going to take out a bit of this green in the middle. like that, and then because I've done that, I'm going to go up the middle here as well, just to take a bit more of that green out. You don't have to do that, you could just leave it. You could kind of just cut generally a random shape around. But I quite like that with our little reindeer and his tree. So let's do a little bit of putting things together. So some liquid glue on my white layer, which is then going to go on top of my real red. Nice even border all the way around, like so. And then I'm going to repeat that again with the one that I'm going to put on the inside. So the one that goes on the inside is going to be kind of my space to write a message. So on that goes, like so. And then we've got our patterned paper to stick down. Feels a bit mean covering up all these lovely reindeer, but it's the downside to patterned paper having two sides. You always end up kind of gluing down something that's pretty. And then this piece, you could put some designer series paper on this section if you wanted to. You could cut an extra piece. And the measurement for that would be the same as this front piece. So you would just cut another piece this size to stick in there, but I'm quite happy to just leave that one blank. And then I'm going to stick the inside panel down first. And that's so that I can line up my front panel with the inside panel. So put that down, and then we'll close this over, and then I'm just going to add adhesive to the left hand side of this panel. So I'm going to be careful to only add glue to that one side, otherwise I will end up sticking my card closed. And then just gonna line up with the panel that's underneath. And then we've got our lovely little reindeer and Christmas tree, and I'm gonna pop it up on some dimensionals. It wouldn't be a Helen card without some dimensionals somewhere. And then pop that on. Like so. And then I just need to decide where I want to put my sentiment. I might put my sentiment up here actually. And then I'm wondering about adding just a little bit of sparkle. So let's bring in some of the gold foil, and I am going to measure just shy of a centimetre that way, and then that way we are 7 centimetres. So I'm going to go for just shy of 1.5 centimetres and 7.5 centimetres, and that is just going to give me a tiny little border all the way around like that. I'm going to pop that on with some liquid glue. You could use your Stampin' seal or tear and tape if you prefer. The good thing about doing it with liquid glue is it gives you a little bit of wiggle room if you, like me, don't quite put it on straight the first time. There we go. It just adds a little bit of extra something, and then I'm just going to pop that down with some liquid glue as well. There we go. Off over to the side. Yeah, I'm happy that that looks nice and straight. And there we have it, there's our card for today. So you could stamp on the inside if you wanted to. I'm actually just going to leave it blank because I've got a smaller than usual space to be able to write my message. So I'm going to leave it blank until I kind of decide on who the recipient's going to be and what I'm going to write on the inside. And I might come back and stamp something if I feel it needs it. But that is our card for today. Now you could put some embellishments on. You could add some shimmer gems or maybe some pearls, but actually I think just with that little bit of gold foil I think is just enough, and I am going to leave it there for today. Oh, I've slid, I'm not sure how much of that was in shot, I'm sorry about that. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you liked today's card. If you haven't already, I hope that you would consider going back and watching days 1 through 7. And I hope you will join me again tomorrow for day 9. If you want to purchase any of the products that I have used today or in any of my previous videos, there is a link in the description box on YouTube for you to do so. Also, if you haven't already, I would love it if you would consider subscribing to my YouTube channel and following me over on Facebook as well. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.